We just had our first solo cash cup of the season, but for whatever reason, right in the middle of NA, Fortnite decided to make a whole bunch of weapon changes. So before I recap how the solo cash cup went, which pros are looking good, who won, let's talk about the weapon changes. So first off, during EU, we got these weapon balance changes. So we had Wrecker revolver damage nerfed by 6%. Not really that big of a deal. I watched EU and I watched NA, and honestly, I didn't really see any difference between them. If you were going to hit for 100 before, now you hit for 94. It's not really an insane nerf. The Wrecker revolver is still very meta. Now, its build damage being nerfed by 2%. Even less noticeable, the hyper burst pistol clip buff from 18 to 24. This is quite significant. 6 extra bullets, that's 1/3 of what the clip size was before on top, is kind of insane. The veiled SMG clip buff from 21 to 23, the SMG fire rate is 1% faster. The twin fire auto shotgun damage got buffed by 3%, but don't pay too much attention to this because Fortnite nerfed and vaulted this gun later in the day. I'll get to that in a second. And the twin fire reload is slower, plus 0.5 seconds. So they kind of buffed and then nerfed the twin fire. Either way, those changes pretty insignificant. Like I said, they happened in the middle of between EU and NA, and nothing felt any different on NA. But something that felt very different on NA was midway through the tournament, all of a sudden players started getting guns that weren't supposed to be in the meta. This is what happened to Clicks when he dropped in on spawn and got an MK7.
What? What am I using? Wait, I'm so confused. Refund that. What gun is that?
Now, this was a little bit strange, but I just assumed it was a bug and he just randomly got this. But then every single streamer I watched for the rest of the tournament kept picking up the MK7. And then Fortnite isn't normally awake at this time. By the time the NA Central Solo Cash Cup was midway through, it is very late in the evening for the office that is on NA time zones. So Fortnite said nothing. We basically had to rely on the leakers, who then accessed the game files and revealed that the MK7, the Hollow Twister Assault Rifle, and the Frenzy Auto Shotgun are back, and the Twin Fire Auto Shotgun is being removed. So for whatever reason, Fortnite decided to nerf and buff the Twin Fire Auto Shotgun just hours before removing it from the game. And again, we still have no official word from Epic Games on this update. They didn't tweet about it. There's no blog post. It's not even an update day. Like, it genuinely feels like a mistake, but I don't even know at this point. If it wasn't for the fact that the gun got nerfed and buffed early in the day, I'd feel like it wasn't a mistake, but because of that, it has me questioning things. Now, overall, I am a fan of this update, I guess, mostly because the Twin Fire Auto Shotgun is terrible. That gun is cheeks. It should 100% be removed from the game. No one ever uses, not even in zero builds. It's just a useless gun. And I know fast fire rate shotguns aren't usually most people's first choice of guns. They're usually in the game to help lower skill players who are just trying to have a bit of fun and maybe don't have the best mechanics or aim, so it's a bit more forgiving when they miss. I'm totally a fan of that, which is why I'm not super mad to see the Frenzy Auto Shotgun has returned, because the Frenzy Auto Shotgun was a lot more powerful than the Twin Fire. We still have insane double pumps, you know, like Mythic Sentinels, we have like Mythic Havoc pumps, we have exotic spazzes, we have so many strong shotguns, so I don't think the fast fire rate shotgun is going to be the meta, but I would rather one that doesn't feel as terrible to use. Like, I would almost rather get any gun off spawn than a twin fire shotgun right now, so I'm not mad about this update. As far as the MK7, it feels a little bit weak. Again, it's only been out for a day. It is adding another scoped weapon back into the game, which could have big issues for surge trading and surge aim as well. That's always going to be an issue with this gun, but the MK7 strength is not at long range like the Hollow Twister. Now, I will mention, I watched the tournament for about 2 hours after this update came out, and I didn't see a single Hollow Twister. So I have to imagine the Hollow Twister is only in pubs. It looks like it's specifically not in competitive, which is a very smart decision by Epic, because the Hollow Twister would be insane for surge trading. That would be a very big issue. So at this point, I'm kind of happy with this update, if it is even an actual update. I guess by the time this video comes out, hopefully Epic Games wakes up and gives us some confirmation of whether this was meant to happen, because it just feels so weird. It wasn't like before the NA Cash Cup. It was literally smack bang in the middle while it was still running. All right, let's recap how the results of the Solo Cash Cup went. Now, I watched EU, Brazil, and NA Central, and I must say, I am so excited and happy for solos to be back. I know this format isn't a lot of people's favorite format. There are Solo Cash Cup formats I've preferred in the past, but like I've already explained, it's a necessary evil. Fortnite's not doing this format because they think it's the most exciting or it's the best format. It's the format that they can do solos without paying out cheaters. And for the most part, I saw way less cheaters in this tournament than any solo cup I've watched in years. Because again, I think a lot of cheaters realize there's just no chance they're going to make it through 4 or 6 weeks of qualifiers and then make it to the finals without getting banned. So a lot of them just aren't even trying. So it's good to watch solos without a whole bunch of cheaters running around constantly taking down all the pros. So I'm going to recap how the tournament went on EU and NA. Over on NA, we had some big performances from some of our big names, but a lot of the big pros are actually struggling. So in first place, we had Sphinx coming off the back of a top 10 at Global. Sphinx looking really, really solid. And honestly, I didn't really have eyes out for Sphinx to win this one. He was doing really well in the solo cash cups we had a few seasons ago, getting a lot of top 3s and top 5s. So I should have thought about it, but I wasn't really thinking that Sphinx would come out and win the first one. He played 10 matches, had an average of 6.2 elims and an average placement of 32.4. Now that doesn't sound that crazy, but a lot of his placements just came from really consistent like top 15 finishes. And with the format, that's what you want to play for. You start getting a placement point for every single place inside top 50, and you only start getting bonus points at top 3, and it's not even really that much. So if you're getting consistent top 10s, you're going to be getting a lot of points. That's what Sphinx did perfectly. Now, M3 Dizzy in second. I don't know who this is, but he seems legit from what I can see. So just kind of an up-and-comer pop-off here. We had Iomzo in third. Now, there's been a lot of heat between Iomzo and Clicks, if you guys have seen on social media. Clicks and Iomzo going at it over, you know, who threw globals and whose fault it was, and people saying that they're team blaming and coping, and there's been a bit of drama there. So it's good to see Iomzo come out with a big solo performance. Clicks also did quite well in this tournament as a solo as well, but as a lot of Clicks fans know, Clicks' solos is not always his favorite game mode. The mental kind of not really there to play patient and play safe for the end game. Quite often just gets bored and starts jumping in. When it came to the fights, Clicks put down a whole bunch of really big name pros with some big fights. I saw him take down Muzz, Craze, and a bunch of other pros. So his fighting's great, but as we know, the solo mental not always there. We had Curve in fourth place, and then we had Cade in fifth. Yes, that is EU professional player Cade in fifth on 366 points. So very, very impressive performance from Cade. If you go down a little bit on the leaderboard, I know people you guys are going to care a lot about. We have Peterbot finishing in 7th overall. He was first for a lot of the tournament, but actually ran out of games. He got a 27 elimination win, but again, as Pete does, Pete went out big for the elims, 77 elims overall, but Pete was far from the highest kill game we had in the solo cash card. That actually goes to Chap on EU, who dropped a 40 bomb. Yes, that is Mr. Savage's trio mate, Chap. He is looking phenomenal in solos as well as trios. Remember, Chap is now going to be playing duos with Flixie. If you want to watch that 40 elim win, I actually have it up on my React channel. Yes, I am bringing back the React channel videos because solos is back, and I love watching high kill solos. Duos is also way more fun as well, so fully expect a lot of videos on that channel as well. But Chap went insane, just as Chap does. Jumped in, crazy aim, played phenomenally well. So if you guys are trying to improve at solos and want to be better at W King, go check out that video as well. But Peterbot definitely didn't get the highest elim game on the day. A lot of people expecting Pete to come out and drop the 40, so we'll see. There's 5 more weeks of solos for him to try to take back his crown as getting the highest elim games in solo cash cups. Speaking of EU, we had a very dominant performance from Vico, getting 430 points, which is almost 50 points above what Sphinx won NA with. So EU showing out big. That was a huge performance from Vico. I've also had Vico agree to actually do a watch-along VOD review video with me. So keep an eye here on the main channel. I'll be uploading a video where I'm going to go through Vico's gameplay and get him to explain to you guys why he did what he did, why he rotates, what weapons he runs, why he goes certain drop spots. So again, if you guys are trying to improve at solos, keep an eye on the main channel. Vico played insanely well. Had an average elims of 8.88, 71 elims overall, and an average placement of 20.75. But he had some big games. He had a 28 elim win, 7 elim third, 11 elim second, 7 elim win. Just really, really consistent Fortnite from Vico, proving he is one of the best solo players in the world. He actually won the last major solo cash cup tournament we had before we went on the break of no solos. So Vico maintaining his consistency throughout. We had Velo in second, a very underrated performance, 415 points. Then we had Focus, our 50 ping goat, on 398, getting almost 400 points on 50 ping is ridiculous. Focus is a phenomenal player on high ping. Then we had Chap in fourth, getting carried heavily from his 40 elimination win. Then we had Kurama rounding out the top 5. Kurama, one of the most consistent solo players in the world right now across EU and NA. If I had to guess anyone who's going to qualify to the NA finals from a different region, it's going to be Kurama. He loves his high ping solos. We had other big names rounding out the top 10. We had Sky, Pixie, Frantic, Prism. Across across the board, it was a really fun tournament. And honestly, I really like this solo cash cup meta. I feel like the different weapon loadouts, the different kind of skill expression between running double pump or AR shotgun. I saw some people running only the revolver shotgun, going full placement warrior strategy, whether you're going to run the medallions, whether you're going to run different meds, whether you're prioritizing going for the bunkers and getting the exotics or the mythics. It is just a really cool meta for solos, and honestly, I really am enjoying it. There has been a lot of confusion on how the solo cash cup format's going to work. I clarified it yesterday, but looks like we got even more information today. It looks like the way the format's going to work, like I said, was it's going to be 6 weeks of qualifiers, your best 4 weeks. But how it's going to work is they're actually going to add up the points from your best 4 weeks to then qualify you to the finals. So trying to make finals on EU is going to be like 12 to 1300 points between your only 4 weeks of tournaments. So you're going to have to play phenomenally well if you want to make it to the finals, which means these finals are going to be unbelievably stacked. Like, I'm so excited to watch these finals. Yes, there's definitely going to be some issues of, you know, X trios splitting drop spots, a bit of teaming going on. That's what solos is always going to have. But compared to surge trading, honestly, it's basically the same thing at this point. Solos is way more exciting anyway to watch. So I'm very excited for that. But if you guys do want to make the finals, you're going to have to put up 4 weeks of really good tournaments.